Hello, my name is Matthias and welcome to the FPL Scope and my team selection video for Game Week 38, which will also serve as my weekly wildcard drafts Game Week 38 video as well, because I haven't been able to do that this week. It is the final game week of the season, a season that has been not the best for me. It's been okay. I'm well inside the top 100k. I'm probably going to be pretty safely inside the top 100k this season. Always hoping to get into the top 10k, but that is not going to happen. Even if I get the luckiest Game Week 38 of all time, even if I had the highest score, I don't think I'll be able to get there in the end, of course, because I am like 60 or 70 points behind that. Top 50k is still within reach, so I'm hoping to get there, but we'll see what happens anyway. But this will be the final video before the end of the season for me, so we're going to talk about a couple different things. First and foremost, going to look at my GW37 score, which is not the best. We're going to look at my free hit suggestion for GW37, which was a lot better. We're also going to look at the team of the week. We have actually two managers of the week this week. Two managers managed to get 80 points this week with bench boost in hand. So we're going to look at those teams and also look at their future teams as well, their future plans. And one of those managers have their free hit left for Game Week 38, which is going to be interesting because I'm going to also make a free hit team for Game Week 38. And that will serve as basically the suggestion for that manager, what he should do or they should do in their final game week of the season. And then finally, we're going to end on my own Game Week 38 plans, which are currently a bit tricky to know exactly what I'm going to do, but we're going to talk a bit about the different iterations of what I can do with news that we might get before deadline as well. So yeah, I encourage everyone to just keep your transfers until closer to the deadline, because we could potentially get team leak news for every single team, or like every team has a possibility of getting team news leaked basically before the game week starts, because all games start at the same time this game week in Game Week 38, as is the customary thing to do in the final game week of the season basically. But anyways, long intro, let's go into what happened in Game Week 37 instead, where I managed to get only 44 points. It was a pretty bad game week, especially the ending to it was really bad for me. It started off pretty well with the Aston Villa players. Rodgers got 6 points for me in midfield. I also had my captain Watkins playing in the first game, which is making me a little bit uneasy to have the captain in the first game of the game week, but Watkins at least managed to get an assist, 10 points in the end, which matched what Mbuemo would have had as my captain as well, and what most people got as their captaincy pick, basically. So in the end, pretty happy with the captaincy score there for Watkins with 10 points, 6 points from Rodgers. Started off pretty well with the game week. After that, though, not much went right for me. I had both Isak and Cunha not starting. Eventually, Isak didn't play at all, which made me get Elanga off the bench with 5 points, which was nice to at least get some points from the bench there. But the final game week, or the final day of this game week, was the worst for me because Cunha didn't start. Munoz got 1 point, and then both my City defenders had clean sheets locked up all the way up until 90 plus 5 minutes into injury time. 5 minutes into injury time, some needless back pass was picked off by Jebison, who scored the goal and managed to delete the clean sheets for both Guardiola and Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz was on 1 bonus point as well, so yeah, basically dropped 9 points from that goal by itself, which is a huge blow to my team for Game Week 37. So yeah, not the best game week for me. I had Bowen once again sort of save me, getting a goal from a pretty late minute in the game. Really nice touch, really nice finish from Bowen. He's just that good. He's super, he's one of the best players in the Premier League. I said it, I'm a West Ham fan, I know I'm biased, but anyways, both because Bowen scored, which gave me points, but also because he deleted the clean sheet for Nottingham Forest, where I have no players defensively, so that also helped me a lot when it comes to my rank. So not all bad this game week, but at the same time, 4 to 4 points is not what I was looking for going into this game week, and especially the City defenders losing their clean sheets was a big blow to me. Also, the fact that once again I missed out on the best goalkeeper. The goalkeeper rotation with Areola and Raya has just not worked out for me at all. Back in Game Week 36, I started Raya over Areola, and Areola got like 8 points on the game week where I could have had my bench boost and had those points anyway, but I lost points from starting Raya over Areola. I swapped around this week, had Areola starting rather than Raya, and now I lost out on points again. And now, spoilers for Game Week 38, I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to swap and have Raya starting Areola on the bench, and that's probably going to cost me once again. But anyways, we try to move with the goalkeeper rotation, which is never a good idea, it seems like. So yeah, again, don't think I'm going to get Raya for next season or any 5.5 goalkeeper for that matter. I think it's all about getting the best 4.5 goalkeeper at the start of the season, and basically just figure out which goalkeeper is going to be the best for the entirety of the season. If I'd done that this season and had Mats Sells rather than Robert Sanchez as my Game Week 6 wildcard pick, I would have gained like 50 or 60 points, I think, overall this season, which would have probably got me into the top 10k. So yeah, just from one small mistake like that, it can cost you a lot of points. So that's something I have to keep in mind for next season. But yeah, that was Gaming 37 for my own team. Let's take a look at my free hit draft, which did a lot better. Again, this is not ideal. This is close to ideal though, because I had some really nice scores here, also on the bench, which is the one frustrating part about this team, I guess. But starting in goal, we have Pickford with 6 points. Everton got a clean sheet, and Mikolenko got a clean sheet as well. I think that was against Southampton, if I'm not mistaken, that game. So easy clean sheet for both those guys. Happy to see that for the free hit draft. Cucurella scored and got a clean sheet against Man United. And not surprisingly, I did think Chelsea would have a pretty decent game against Man United. So I backed them there with both Cucurella and Palmer. Palmer did nothing, got 3 points, of course, but Cucurella scored once again, got his third 15-pointer of the season, I think. He got 15 pointers in consecutive game weeks, like 10 game weeks ago, just about. So yeah, another good game week from him. Coyote as my defender over Konsa was the big mistake, obviously. Konsa got a goal. And he didn't concede either, so 15 points for Konsa as my last player on the bench there. Hurts a bit. If I had him starting, this free hit draft would have had more points than the manager of the week as well, which has used bench boost. So yeah, just a really good draft overall, I think. But yeah, in the midfield as well, Palmer with 3 points, De Bruyne with 3 points, not ideal from the pricey players there. Hold on as well with 2 points. All the expensive players basically. Salah as well, just blanked. So yeah, I think price is sort of out the window at this point. Just pick players that are that have the best fixtures, basically. I think that's the main reason to pick players right now. And usually always anyways, but yeah. Mbuemo with 5 points. Pretty consistent performer there. Mbuemo did miss a penalty. Could have been a lot more if he hadn't missed that penalty, of course. But yeah, 5 points for him. Bowen with 8 points. Always nice to see. Hold on with 2 points, like I mentioned. Basically done nothing since he came back, which is kind of disappointing, I guess. But at the same time, I wasn't really too antsy about getting Haaland in, because I think he's been a bit up and down this season overall in general. So yeah, 2 points for him. Watkins as the captain with 10 points. And then Jamie Vardy obviously signing off with a goal, his 200th goal in his 500th appearance for Leicester. Perfect ending for Vardy's career with Leicester. And 8 points in the free hit draft here. So overall, 70 points in total for this free hit draft, which is really, really good. 183k overall for this game week, which is also really nice. So across the season, basically, I have made free hit drafts every single game week, and accumulatively, difficult word to pronounce, I have gained 2,515 points from the free hit drafts all throughout the season, which would have had an overall rank of 21k overall, which is, I mean, of course, a really good rank overall in the regular game. But free hit drafts, getting unlimited transfers, it's not as good. But at the same time, have to keep in mind, this is free hit draft. There's no assistant manager chip, no bench boost chip, no triple captaincy chip. You basically lose out on a lot of points from that as well. So 21k overall is a pretty good rank, I think, for free hit drafts, even though I could have done a much better job in certain game weeks. But this game week, really good game week overall, and yeah, pretty happy with the result there. So hopefully I can give you guys some good advice for the free hit drafting Gaming 38 as well, where I think a lot more people will actually use their free hit as well. So yeah, we'll see about that pretty soon. But first, we have to go through the managers of the week, the managers that got the most points in Gaming 37 in the FPL Scope Mini League. Let's take a look at the first one, which is VRL Stoican. I did mention that some people have their free hit left, and that is the case with this manager. Free hit left for Gaming 38, which is fantastic. Exactly what you need. This manager also had bench boost left for Gaming 37. I think the same manager was manager of the week, like Gaming 35 or something as well, because I remember talking about this team pretty, like, not that far removed from now. And I did mention bench boosting in one of those upcoming game weeks, and then, or in Gaming 37, and then free hitting in Gaming 38. And I'm happy to see this manager has done that and actually gained a lot of points from that as well. So 80 points this game week. It's basically just gone past me in the rankings as well with 80 points compared to my 44 points. So amazing stuff there. Overall, but at the same time, looking at this team, not really that many like huge scores. It's just like a really successful bench boost, obviously, with 23 points from the bench boost, which is fantastic, which is exactly what you want from a bench boost. But overall, across the board, no players in double digits apart from the captain, which is Watkins. So no players got double digits by themselves, basically. And even Watkins is someone that you brought in for Marmoush, who got 8 points, which would have been more points as well than which actually gained from doing the transfer there. But overall, just really solid team. 6 points from Pickford, 8 points from Milenkovic. Munoz and Guardiola both blanked, not the best. Schade also blanked for once after having a really good game weeks prior to that. Bowen 8 points, and Mbeumo 5 points. De Bruyne again blanking in his final home game, really disappointing, but he had that major chance where he really should have scored. So he should have scored. He should have had a much higher score for his final game or home game of his City career. But yeah, 3 points for him. 10 points from Watkins as the captain. 10 points from Wissa as the striker as well. It's the obvious pick that I should have picked myself rather than Cunha, who has been terrible for me. I should have just picked Wissa, who's been scoring the most non-penalty goals in the league this season with 19. No other player apart from Salah has 19 non-penalty goals, which is absolutely amazing. So yeah, Wissa just continues with his fantastic season. Chris Wood has also had a great season, but he only got 2 points this game week. So yeah, didn't really contribute for this manager. But the bench boost, 23 points like I mentioned. Sells with 3 points, had that clean sheet deleted really late. Both Milenkovic and Sells could have had so many more points. Guardiola obviously, of course, as well, had a clean sheet removed pretty late in those games. Rodgers on the bench with 6 points, that's nice, and the double Everton defense with Branthwaite and Mikolenko both getting some returns there, playing in Southampton. So yeah, overall really good game week. 80 points for this manager, and the manager has also has a free hit left for the final game week of the season, which is going to be really interesting and something that we're going to look at pretty soon. But first, we're going to take a look at the next manager of the week as well, because we have 2 managers with 80 points this game week, and this is a new manager, as you can see. Last season rank not available, best rank overall not available. This at least this account has only been there for 1 season, and 30k overall is really impressive for a debut season if this is actually your debut season. So hats off to you for getting that. And 80 points this game week as well, also really nice. 3 transfers made to get a pretty good bench boost for this game week overall. Did Jurrien Timber out for Mikolenko. Timber was obviously injured, so he didn't get to play. Marmoush out for Watkins. Again, didn't really work out because Marmoush scored that wonder goal, and Watkins only got 5 points from this game. And then Mateta to Vardy, which was also a really nice transfer because Mateta didn't start, and Vardy had his final game week of the season, or final game for Leicester overall, where he scored a goal and got 8 points. So really nice transfers there overall. But again, this team also had some defensive issues when it comes to late clean sheets getting deleted. In the case of Man City again here, just like with my team, both Guardiola and Ruben Diaz losing their points. 9 points removed from that like really late goal from Bournemouth in that game. But Raya in goal, started Raya over Raiola, unlike me, so congrats to you for that. Also Mikolenko with 8 points, just like in the free hit team I suggested. Midfield, pretty middling overall. Salah 2 points, Saka 3 points. Again, really disappointing from the more expensive players this game week. And Mbeumo with 5 points, Eze and Rodgers both with 6 points. Eze has just been fantastic this season, especially late in the season, and he's hurt my rank immensely. But he's helped some managers, including Thomas O'Shea, I'm sure, with a lot of places this game week overall. Watkins is captain, 10 points, pretty standard captaincy choice this week, and he sort of delivered with an assist. And then Wissa with 10 points as well as the final striker there in this team. And the bench boost, 2 points from Areola, 1 point from Munoz, but 8 points each from both Vardy and Milenkovic. And once again, Milenkovic could have had so much more if they hadn't gotten that late goal against them, with Bowen scoring that goal. And this team didn't even have Bowen in their team, so that hurt even more than the other manager of the week, basically. So yeah, overall 80 points again, another successful bench boost. That is 19 points from the bench boost. That's also really good, something you should be happy with. And 30k overall is something you should really be happy with as well. You're close to pushing into the top 10k as well, potentially. Haven't checked exactly how many points there is between it. But I think you have a decent chance, or like an okay chance, I think, at least, of getting into the top 10k. So yeah, you should probably try to push for that. So maybe go for differential captain in the final game of the season if that is what you're looking for this season. But speaking of next game week, Game Week 38 and this manager, let's take a look at this person's game week, or this man, I suppose, Thomas, Game Week 38 team, basically. And there's quite a lot of things to do here with this team, potentially. 2.1 million in the bank, 1 free transfer. So there's a couple different things you can do to your team. First and foremost, the one like slight issue, I guess, is defenders. I don't really know who to start out of Munoz and Milenkovic. I think both have like a decent case. Both are not the best picks, but I don't think either are like terrible picks either. Munoz, just because of his attacking threat, even though they most likely concede against Liverpool, he could definitely get like a goal or an assist, as he's shown towards the end of the season. He's really good offensively, so I don't really mind people starting Munoz this game week. But obviously, Liverpool away at Anfield, that's not ideal for a defender, so maybe you want to go with someone else. Milenkovic has like a okay chance to get a clean sheet, I guess against Chelsea, but that's also a game where both teams need to win, basically. A draw is not enough, so I think there's going to be goals in that game. I don't think Milenkovic is going to keep a clean sheet, so I would lean towards Munoz as the starting defender, but I'm not completely sold on him either, so maybe you want to do a defensive transfer and do Mykolenko to Kirkes and start Kirkes over Munoz if you want to do that as well. But there's also a possibility here to get Bowen. I think he's just a really good player in super good form right now, getting points every single game week, it seems like. Ipswich away could be his final moment to get a brace finally this season, because he just keeps getting one goal, keeps getting those 8-9 point returns, but he hasn't gotten a brace all season, so that might be the case for this final game week, basically. Against Ipswich, a really weak team. I think Bowen is just one of the best players to have currently in FPL, just because West Ham sort of need to give the fans something to be happy about towards the end of the season, because this has been a terrible season. Bowen's going to play 90 minutes. West Ham are going to be up for that game. It's against Ipswich, who have nothing to play for and just have been really terrible all season. So I think that's probably the best transfer, because I think Bowen might be the best captaincy option this week as well. He might be differential as a captain to pick. I'm not quite sure. The overall player base is probably going to be a pretty big differential. So I think if you want to push into the top 10k, maybe you want to go with Bowen rather than someone like Salah as captain. But for now, I have Salah as your captain. I think out of the players that you have starting right now, I think is the best captaincy choice. Watkins is a decent shout. Saka, obviously, if we get news that he's going to start, he is a really nice differential player to have against Southampton in this game week. But I think Bowen might be the pick. But the other pick that I might go for instead is Evan Nilsson. He's also someone that is going to be heavily transferred in this game week. He has Leicester at home, and I think Bournemouth will also want to finish on a high here, so I think Evan Nilsson has a decent chance of getting a lot of points as well. But midfielders in general just have a higher point potential, so I think I would actually lean towards doing Esse de Bowen. I think that has the most upside in terms of points for this, and captaining Bowen as well could be really high upside for you, considering you're so close to getting into the top 10k. But either way, regardless of how this season ends for you, if this is your debut season truly, top 50k is just absolutely amazing as well. Even top 100k is really good for your first season. So I hope you've been watching my videos most weeks. I hope you're watching this right now, and you can comment down below if you are. That'd be really cool. And I hope you have a really nice end to the season with Gaming 38 as well. Like I said, I think Bowen is what would be my preferred transfer. But if you really like some of the other potential captaincy picks, if you want to go with Watkins as a surprise captain, or maybe even Wissa, go with someone like completely different. You could do that as well, and rather basically strengthen your defenders instead. Or you could do the Evan Nilsson transfer, which I think is going to be a really good transfer as well. It just depends on what you like, pretty much. But yeah, I think your team is pretty good. Roya Areola is still like a goalkeeper decision, I guess, but I think Roya is the better pick there. That's what I'm going to choose for my own team as well. But I have been missing a lot when it comes to goalkeeper picks now, so maybe you should go with the opposite of me, but I don't really know. Vardy obviously is not going to play. He has played this final game for Leicester. 500 appearances, 200 goals is perfect for him, so he's end of the bench. The two defenders aren't the best either, so maybe you want some good bench cover in case there are some people getting rested. Maybe Salah gets his first rest of the season. Maybe Saka doesn't play. I don't know. You want to have a stronger bench as well, so yeah, maybe Esse de Bowen is a bit tricky in that regard, because you won't upgrade your bench. You will just get rid of Esse, who's like a decent player this game week at least. So maybe that leads you more towards Vardy to Evan Nilsson. But yeah, I think both those transfers are really good. I think even the Mykolenko to Kirkes transfer is also pretty good. You might want to do a -4 as well if you want to strengthen your defense on top of everything else. If you want to strengthen your bench, especially if you get news of leaks that Saka doesn't play or something like that, maybe you'll be more encouraged to do a -4. But I don't really think the hits are the best, especially in just like a 1 game week capacity, because basically what you're doing if you're taking a hit this game week, you're basically banking on the player you're bringing in to get 4 more points than the player you're getting rid of, basically. So yeah, I don't think that's going to be a positive most game weeks, but it could happen. So yeah, you can take that into account anyway for your own team, basically. But yeah, that is the manager of the week for Thomas O'Shea. Your plans for this next game week. We also have Viral Stoichan, or however you say that name. Also with a free hit for the final game of the season. I assume you're going to use your free hit and not burn that chip, because it's a really nice chip. So I do have a free hit team for you, and for anyone else that's on a free hit, for the final suggestion for the manager of the week. And this is basically a suggestion for me with the free hit draft. This is what I'm going for Gaming 38. A lot of players that I think have pretty high upside with pretty good matches, and yeah, that could get a lot of points. Again, I go with sort of safe captain's option Salah. I don't really know. It just really depends on what you want to do And if you're trying to defend position, if you're trying to gain rank, it really depends on that. But I think Bowen is also a really nice captaincy choice. Isak as well, if he's fit to play. If we get news that Isak is fit to play and is going to start against Everton, I think he's a really nice captaincy differential this game week as well. Evan Nielsen I mentioned, Watkins. There's a lot of good captaincy picks this time around, and I think it's basically just down to what you prefer and who you like, basically who you choose as captain. When it comes to the free team overall, doubling up with Arsenal defense against Southampton, I think that's pretty safe. Raya is going to start most likely, 100%, I think. Areola also pretty good chance to start if Raya for some reason doesn't start. And Ben White is going to start guaranteed, I think, with Timber out. And yeah, Arsenal just lacking defenders overall. I think White is going to be a pretty good player to have against Southampton, who are one of the worst teams when it comes to scoring goals, especially lately, seeing as Leicester have been scoring a bit more lately. But I'm still backing against the team playing against Leicester with Bournemouth and Kirkus. I do think Leicester will lose some with Vardy not being up front there as well. They'll struggle a bit more to score, and I think Kirkus can have a really good game week, so he's also in the midfield, in the defense. He does play as a winger sometimes, or like close to it sometimes. So yeah, I guess you could sort of classify him as a midfielder, but he is a defender in the game. Luckily, because that means like he can get clean sheet points as well. Wan-Bissaka against Ipswich away. I think he's also a really good player to have for this game week. I think he's just been really good this season overall. He has like the second most bonus points from a defender. I think tied with Olaina, if I'm not mistaken, with like 15 bonus points this season, which is absolutely amazing. Wan-Bissaka, if he gets an attacking return especially, but even if he gets just a clean sheet, he can get bonus points against Ipswich. Bowen as well, I think he has a really good chance against Ipswich. I think he might be my captain this game week, just because I'm a West Ham fan, and yeah, what the hell, I need to have fun before the final game of the season. He's also a really good pick in midfield, obviously. He's in the team. And Mbeumo is just so consistent playing as Wolves in a game where they would like to win to try to secure European spots. So Mbeumo in what might be his final game for Brentford as well. I think he's going to be a really good player this week. Saka, I was a bit in between choosing Saka or Trossard for this pick because I wasn't completely sure on Saka starting, and I think Trossard has been playing a lot lately and could potentially start again, and is a pretty explosive player as well when he has his day. But Saka is the penalty taker. He wants to end the season on a high probably after a really disappointing season overall for Arsenal, so I just slightly lean towards Saka and saving some money elsewhere in the team, as you can see with my final bench player, as I'm going to get to eventually. But yeah, Salah takes up a lot of money, but he plays Palace at home. Palace just conceded twice against Wolves. They're still celebrating their FA Cup win, and I think Liverpool will want to go out on a high for a really good season where they won the league, obviously, but lately they've been a bit middling and lost their last game in Game Week 37. So I think Salah is obviously a really good captaincy choice, especially seeing how many chances he's getting now. He's actually getting really close to getting goals. I think he has like really explosive potential, and it might just be stupid to go against him as captain because he has that really explosive potential that we haven't really seen lately, but we know it's in there somewhere with Salah, and this could be the celebration that he needs basically for Liverpool at home to Palace. So he's a really good captaincy choice, and honestly, like if I was just picking just straight up who I think is going to be the player that gets the most points this game week, it would be Salah. So I think he makes the most sense as like the default captaincy pick. But yeah, go with whatever you like, I guess. Isak is also someone else that could be rivaling Salah for best captaincy choice if he's ready to play, if he's fit to play. Newcastle need to win this game against Everton basically to get into the Champions League spots or secure the Champions League spots. If they win this game, they are secured into the top 5 and they get Champions League, and I think they will win the game against Everton. But at the same time, Everton, apart from the atrocious start to the season defensively, they've been really good when it comes to keeping the scores low at least. Like they rarely concede more than 2 goals. I think like since like the last like 20 game weeks, they've only conceded like 4 goals against Man United, like a freak game out of nowhere. But apart from that, they keep conceding either 0, 1, or 2 goals, which is not that much. And something that you don't really want for a player that you want to captain. So that's what putting me off a little bit when it comes to Isak, even if he's fit to play. There's him as my captain, just because Everton are pretty solid defensively. But at the same time, they are lacking both Branthwaite and Tarkowski, and that is going to be a huge detriment to the team, especially seeing as they have to play Michael Keane now most likely. So there are ups and downs to Isak as captaincy choice. I think it's a really nice differential if he is confirmed to start. But yeah, that's something to watch for sure. He's also someone you could choose as your captain. Watkins against Man United away. Final game to salvage something out of the season. Like they don't really have anything to salvage from the season, Man United, but they want to end on a high, or at least like not on a whimper. Like they just lost the Europa League final. playing Aston Villa, who are also chasing Champions League. I think it just makes sense to have Watkins, who has had the most big chances missed this season. Maybe he'll finally score some chances and get a lot of points. Against Man United, he could definitely do that, so I think he's a really good pick as well. And then finally, Evan Nilsson against Leicester, like I mentioned previously. I think he's also just a really nice player to have against Leicester. That's always a team you want to target. And Evan Nilsson has been really good this season, especially lately. He's been like the main guy for Bournemouth as well, attacking-wise. So yeah, I think Evan Nilsson's going to have a huge game week as well. On the bench, Areola against Ipswich. I think he's just a safe, cheap goalkeeper to have in a pretty easy match. Rodgers against Man United, like I said, I think this game is going to be won by Aston Villa by quite a margin, because Man United are just pretty bad currently and they're just in the dumps overall. So I think the Rodgers is a really nice player to have off the bench in case you need someone in for Isak, for example, or Saka. Dean Howson as well, going to Real Madrid, obviously, is a huge player, really good player who's going to one of the biggest teams in the world. Even though they lost the league to Barcelona, of course, because Barcelona are an even bigger team. Just an unbiased opinion for me. But Howson, of course, in his final game for Bournemouth against Leicester at home, also really a choice. I did struggle between picking him or Wan-Bissaka as my final defender, but I just landed on Wan-Bissaka just to have a bit more variation in my defense and not have doubling up on Bournemouth as well as doubling up on Arsenal. So yeah, and then finally Kwanzaa, just because I don't really have much money left in the bank for this team. 104 is the team value for this team, so you might not be able to afford it. I think Trossard in for Saka is something you could consider potentially. There are other ways to get some money involved as well. If you want to downgrade Ben White to Kivior, for example, you can do that as well. So there's plenty of different things you can do to save some money if you don't have enough money in the bank to pick this team, basically. But I think this is the best team to have currently. And as you can see, I have 8 out of these 15 players already. So yeah, I'm looking pretty good for Game Week 38 myself as well, as we'll see with my final team selection here. But yeah, I think this is the best team to have for Game Week 38, and I think that's what our manager of the week should do as well. If you are, or anyone else on a free hit, basically, this is the team you should select, in my opinion, at least. But if you want to be in the manager of the week, just like the 2 gentlemen we just had now you can join the FPL Score Mini League with the league code hpxeri. And obviously, you can't be manager of the week for this season because or you could, I guess you could for Game 38. You could be manager of the week for Game 38. I'm gonna highlight the manager who got the most points in Game 38 as well. So you could still, this season, be manager of the week. But also, obviously, next season, this is going to continue on to next season. I'm going to have the same league with, obviously, probably a different league code next season, but I'm going to have the same league up for next season. So if you want to be the manager of the week next season as well, you can join the FPL Score Mini League with the league code hpxeri and be featured in a video just like our 2 managers of the week just were right now, basically. And with all that out of the way, I feel like I've been talking a mile a minute and I've talked for almost half an hour now, but let's move on to my current plans for Game Week 38 as well and see what I got planned for the final game week of the season, pretty much. And like I said, 70k, I don't really have too high hopes for this season. A lot will depend on Isak, if he's fit to play or not. He could still be my captain if he starts, just because of the Everton defense being really lacking without Branthwaite and Tarkowski, their 2 best defenders. But if Isak is injured, I think Evan Nilsson would be my transfer. He seems just like a pretty simple guy to bring in. I could still do that even if I don't have the Isak injury news. I might bring in Evan Nilsson and bench Rodgers potentially. I do have Elanga, who's a different player that hasn't been mentioned so far in this video. Like I said, Chelsea against Nottingham Forest, both teams basically need to win, I think, to get into the Champions League or have hopes of getting into the Champions League. So I think that's going to be a pretty high-scoring game, or at least like back and forth. Like I think Elanga with his pace can definitely take advantage of that. So I actually really like him, and I was close to picking him in my free hit team as well. So he's someone that I really like. I would probably just bench Rodgers instead of Elanga, which might not make sense for the free hit team because I might just have Elanga on the bench instead. But I'm not quite sure about the team value there. I might have to double check that. But anyways, I really like all my offensive players for this game week, assuming Isak is ready to play. So I might not do any transfers there. And even my defense as well. My goalkeepers, I think, are ideal. Ryan Areola, they have really good matches. City, apart from that really late conceded goal against Bournemouth, have been so solid defensively lately against Fulham now, which is a team that, I guess they have scored a bit of goals lately, and Jimenez has been really good lately. So maybe I could do a defensive transfer, but I feel like that's just a bit boring. I think Gabriel and Ruben Diaz are more than good enough against Fulham to keep a clean sheet. Todibo against Ipswich, I think, it's also a pretty decent player to have for this game week. And even Burn as my backup defender, or Munoz even. I think all my defenders are pretty good starts this game week. Even looking at my bench, like this might have been the best game week to bench boost for me as well. Especially considering I got only 8 points for my bench boost. But yeah, I think that Game Week 38, like just the uncertainty of who's going to start and who's not going to start, I don't like that enough to save the bench boost for that game week. I think that's why I didn't do it myself, basically. But yeah, bring us my team. I think I'm going to go to Bowen as my captain, just because I'm a West Ham fan. I'm hoping for West Ham to end the season on a high, and I think Bowen can get a pretty good score this game week, of course. Salah is still obviously in consideration, but it's a bit boring. It just wouldn't gain me that many points, and yeah, it's just not that fun to pick someone that is in pretty much every single team, pretty much. So yeah, other than that, I think Isak would be my other differential captain if I would go against Bowen. If we get confirmation Isak starts, it would be tempting, but at the same time, I think even with the players out for Everton, I think they're going to line up pretty defensively and not concede too many goals. And I think Newcastle as well, if they're leading 2-0, I don't think they're going to push it too far as well. And especially Isak, with the injury issues, even if he does start, it is a good chance that he gets subbed off after 60, 70 minutes, especially if Newcastle are already leading by quite a distance at that point. So yeah, I'm probably going to lean towards Bowen as captain. I think that's going to be my final decision. I think I also might do Cunha to Evan Nilsson, even if Isak is fit to play. If Isak is not fit to play, it's just easy. Isak to Evan Nilsson and just start Evan Nilsson, captain Bowen. That's it. If Isak is starting, I would still start him. I would maybe captain him, probably not. And I would probably do Cunha to Evan Nilsson and bench Rodgers. That would be my transfer to do, I think. So yeah, I think that's my plans for the final game of the season. Let's see where it leads me. 70k overall right about now. Not too happy about that, but hopefully I get into the top 50k. That would be pretty nice at least. Yeah, shouldn't be too sad. Like, it's a pretty good season overall, but as a content creator, as someone that is a veteran of the game, as you can see from my best rank, 1,348 in the 2011-2012 season, I'm hoping to do better than what I've done this season. So yeah, got a lot to learn from it though, which I'm going to talk about next week when I'm going to sum up the season, sum up my own season overall, things that I've learned from the season, and also just look at other teams and how other people have solved this season better than I have, basically. Also going to try to make, or I'm currently trying to make, like the best zombie squad, like I mentioned previously in this video, where you just select the team for Game Week 1 and don't do any changes, no chips, no transfers, no nothing to your team, and see how well you can do. And I'm going to see the ideal, try to work out the ideal zombie team of the season and see how well it could do comparatively to everyone else. I think it's going to be really tough to get into the top. Like previous seasons, I've made the zombie team, and I've actually managed to make a team that would have won the season if you're just stuck with the same team the whole season. I don't think that's viable anymore, especially with the assistant manager chip, which is so powerful, like 50, 40, like 40, 50, 60 points from that alone. It's going to make it really difficult to make a zombie team that would win the season, especially without triple captain, bench boost, all the other chips as well. But I'm going to try my best to get the highest rank possible for a zombie team as well. So that's another video you can look forward to next week. Of course, also with my summation of the season with my own Game Week 38 score and how I ended up doing in the end. I'm going to make that video as well, and then I'm going to plan for next season. And this summer, I'm going to have a lot of videos. I think I have a lot of plans. I'm going to do a lot of things with the channel overall, and both presentation in terms of my content schedule, how active I am on social media and stuff. I'm going to try to make a push for next season to get a lot more subscribers, hopefully. But yeah, if you want to contribute already with subscribers, if you've watched this whole video, watch me rant for 30 plus minutes, talking a bit hurried and being a bit off my game, honestly. If you still like this video, you can like it, of course, by pressing the like button, but you can also subscribe. That would mean a lot to me, because I'm getting close to getting 1,000 subscribers, which is a really nice milestone for me. And I'm going to start live streaming as well more, or I'm going to start live streaming even next season. Especially with 1,000 subscribers, so it would be amazing. So yeah, just want to thank you all for a good season. I hope you enjoyed all the videos. If you've seen most of my videos this week, or this season rather, thank you so much. It means a lot to get your support, all the comments as well from people that watch regularly. I'm so appreciative that you give me the time of day to watch my videos, obviously. It must mean that I do something well, at least, even though my season hasn't gone the best. But anyways, been a decent season. I hope it's been a better season for you, and I hope you enjoyed the videos for me this season, and more to come next week as well, like I mentioned. So all that out of the way, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.